welcome to episode 82 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and welcome to my knit night. It feels like the longest time since I've said that. So it is the longest time. The last video I put up was my little day trip around Unravel. The one before that was the announcements for this year, and then before that was Vlogmas. So it is episode 82 now, the first real episode of 2022, and it's going to be a quick one. I haven't got an awful lot to show you, but I have got a few little things to tell you. So if you are new here, hi! This is where I come to chat about all things crafty with the internet. I am mainly a knitter. I also crochet, I also dye yarn. You can find me on Instagram mainly as @thelonelyknitter, and I am also one of the organisers of East Anglia Yarn Festival, and I am the maker behind Crafters Balm and Bumbling Yarns. So, wow, that's a long intro now. I also write patterns sometimes, but let's just stop there, shall we? At the moment, I'm sitting on a very creaky chair, so if you hear something, it is most likely that. I've had a big move around in my room. My big comfy chair that I'm usually sat on is covered in stuff. I can't sit there, I have to sit on my desk chair. And what was meant to be this lovely little cosy space with shelves for some stock and then a nice space for my desk and a nice space for my chair, etc., has turned into a workspace officially, all over completely. I've got two big tables that I now use to pack things and store things under and on top of. I still have my desk, but that is always covered. And yeah, my chair is on the way out. I think it's in front of shelving, so I have to move it to get to the shelves, and really I probably haven't got the space for a comfy chair. I need to move out of this tiny garage room now. Feels like 2 minutes ago that I got the garage room. If you haven't been watching for very long, year before last, I converted the back of my garage into a room to be my studio space, and I wanted to call it my studio, and actually it just became the garage room. So yeah, that was a very disjointed, rubbishy intro. It's Saturday the 26th of February. I will have another video for you guys in a couple of days because we are almost at the end of February, which means I get to chat about the book club book. So if you didn't know about it, I am running a book club throughout this year. Every 2 months we read a book. I dye yarn to go with it. You can make yourself whatever you want. Most people are making socks. I finished one of my socks, but it's in a project bag buried underneath all of this chaos and I don't know where it is. I'm sure I'll find it at some point. I am forever casting things on and never finishing them. I'm awful. If you like to see finished objects, I'm not gonna lie, this might not be the best place. Though, saying that, I do have a finished object this week, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about knitting to start with before I get into everything else. So this is a little surprise. This is a cowl. It is my own design and it isn't blocked yet. It's going to get a blocking tonight, and you will see more of this cowl because it is going in as a free pattern into the show guide for East Anglia Yarn Festival. Now, the show guide will be available for download on our website as well as in paper copies in person, so you'll be able to get this free pattern whether or not you're coming to the show. But it is a cowl and it has some stitches that have been pulled forward in front and eyelets as well. And yeah, and this yarn is a skein of, I want to say, Seabed by Fruitful Fusion, and I bought it at Unravel this year from a shop, and it's very squidgy. It's a DK, it's one skein, yeah. It's a very squishy pattern cowl. thingy-mabob. It's a quick knit and doesn't take tons of yarn, so you could knit it with one skein of DK like me, or you could grab a gorgeous skein of fingering weight and hold it double. But I have finished my one. I need to block it now and take pictures and then finish writing up the pattern and bung it into the show guide for everybody. But yeah, so that is my only finished object, because even though I haven't been here for forever, I don't really get a chance to knit at the moment, and it's horrible. I'm not enjoying the not getting a chance to knit. I have got one whip to show you. Now, I have worked on more things since I've last seen you. I've worked on a ton of things, but have I finished them? Unlikely. There might have been one finished object along the way. I might have finished one sock actually. That's not really a finished object. It's a hoe, but there we go. So I'm going to show you this. So this is my yarn. This is Bumbling Yarns, and this is the Thrift Shawl. So whether you're coming to East Anglia Yarn Festival or not, please go over to Instagram or Facebook and follow the accounts. Yeah, the Instagram account is where I am most active, but we're running a make along. So knit or crochet, any craft really, but it's a shawl make along for this year. So there is about 4 weeks left, just under 4 weeks left, till the very first East Anglia Yarn Festival. And we're running a make along, and whilst we announced it all a few weeks ago, I then cast it on, and the idea with the make along is you make a shawl and you make it with a pattern from a designer with a link to East Anglia. So that must either be one that lives here in East Anglia now, or that is from here, even if they've moved away, because we're loose with our definitions of links to East Anglia. And so we've said we'll go with the broadened definition, the Google definition of East Anglia, which is Norfolk and Suffolk, any designers from Norfolk and Suffolk, but also more widely Essex and Cambridgeshire. So if you're from Essex, Cambridgeshire, Suffolk or Norfolk, and you are a designer of knit or crochet and you have shawl patterns, let us know and we will share you online. So we are going to get a page up very soon, or get up it's more likely to be a post to begin with, a post up on our socials sharing all of the designers that we've found and who've asked us to share them, and they're already there in the highlights on Instagram, but just an easier post that will come up on Facebook as well. All of my stitch markers are from Yarnistry and I love them. And yeah, it got a little I am losing my words. It got to about here and then I put it down and didn't work on it for ages. But now that I have finished the show guide pattern, I grabbed it back up and it's actually working up really quickly considering it's big. It goes from the bottom up, and afterwards you make all of these, you make it bigger and bigger with all of these lovely stems, and then at the end it shows you how to crochet some flowers that you attach to the stems. So I thought that was a really cool idea, and it meant that I could do knit and crochet for the make along. So that is my make along pattern. I've got 2 skeins to make that in, and it's one of my yarns. That is it. That is it. That is all the knitting that I have. The rest is a few updates. So if you're waiting on an order from me, I am so sorry. At the beginning of last week, when I was meant to be the next day dropping all the orders at the post office, my car failed its MOT. So it is now having the work done, and I'm really hoping to have it back tomorrow or the next day. Where I drop off my drop and go packages is a really long way away, and some of the parcels I have will not fit through the letterbox because I click and drop, so I can post them into a letterbox myself, but quite a lot of the parcels that I have won't fit. I'm so sorry. But if I don't get my car back tomorrow, the post office opens late on Tuesday and until 8 o'clock at night on Tuesday, and the one that I send my click and drops to, and I will get my husband Chris when he gets in from work. We will bundle the kids in the car and we will all go together, and I don't drive his car because it's a lot more expensive than mine. It's not actually, I mean, that's not a big thing. My car probably wouldn't even get like 700 quid for now. So it's not that much more expensive, but it's a lot heavier to drive, and it's an automatic, and I'm used to a manual, and he's very precious about his car. I don't care about cars. So yeah, I'm not allowed to drive his car. So they will get to the shop they will get to the post office very soon and be out to you. It's just been a disaster. Everything else has also been a disaster because I'm trying to run my businesses, my whole thing, and I'm also trying to organise East Anglia Yarn Festival. I'm not gonna lie, East Anglia Yarn Festival is the current love of my life, only because the show is in less than a month. I can't believe how quickly it's come round. I can't believe the level of support that we've had. The amount of people who are like, we have been waiting for Norfolk and Suffolk to have a yarn show for forever. And I'm like, me too! I won't lie, I have been probably telling people that there should be a show for the last 10 years. Yeah, I would say a long time back when I found out about knitting and stitching shows, and I was at uni, so that was over 12 years ago. I'm old. Yeah, so now it's actually happening. We are bringing 60 amazing exhibitors to the Holiday Inn at Norwich Airport. I will have a stand there. This is going to be the only year that I will have a stand as the Lonely Knitter, because from now on I won't be able to make stock. I've barely got time to make stock for this year. So from now on it's going to be, yeah, from after this year I won't get to vend. But this year my lovely friend Sharon will be, she's the SDR1 TNO on Instagram, but she's changed her YouTube now to the Knitting Project Podcast, I think, from SDR1 TNO Knitting Project Podcast. But my lovely friend Sharon and her daughter will be manning my stall for a good chunk of the time over the weekend. I will be on the front door. I will be taking your order numbers and names, which are your tickets. If you remember from the listing, a lot of people have been messaging me, but they hadn't read the listing through. Your order number and your name are your ticket. It's the only year we're going to do it like this. From next year you'll have e-tickets, and I'll be there handing out your wristbands, and if you've got a goodie bag, the VIP goodie bags. Yeah, we've got merchandise. I can't really believe how this has taken off. We have tote bags deliberately done like this so that we can buy mini skeins at the show and stitch them in. We have little, I'm calling this a sock bag, but it is a little project bag, little tote with the colour logo. That's Norma, the Norfolk Horn. Norfolk Horn sheep are horny whether they are male or female, so we have gone with Norma. We have pin badges, and we have some needle and gauge swatch gauges. We have some gauges, but they're over there, and there's only a very small amount of them, which is why they're not up for pre-sale on the website, because there's so few. Yeah, I can't really believe it, but the reason I've been a little bit absent on social media is just because of the sheer volume of work. I am on a hefty learning curve, and that's great. I'm really enjoying it, and it's a lot of work, and it's taking a lot of my time, and I haven't died outside of my clubs for over a month, and yeah, I have a very much, I mean, I was very respectful of show organisers before, but now I have a much more like newfound respect for show organisers, because the amount of emails I get every day is crazy, and if I'm emailing you back, chances are it's in between wiping a little boy's bum, feeding a 5-year-old girl who eats me out of house and home, telling the dog not to chase the cat. Like, yeah, if you've been watching for a while, you know I have a now 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. When did that happen, eh? And yeah, I have minimal childcare, and It's fine. So Monday is the last day of February. I will record my book club video then, where I will chat a bit about the book and what I liked and didn't like, and it's not going to be a massively intellectual amazing thing because I really just want to talk about whether or not I liked the book. And I'm hoping that you'll all come and join in the conversation with me and chat with me in the comments about the book. And I'll also be revealing the next month's book, or the next 2 months book, so hopefully you will all come and read that one with me as well. So yeah, I think this is probably about it for today. East Anglia Yarn Festival wise, if you are planning to come, first of all, that's amazing. Check out our website. We have an amazing list of exhibitors. We've got multiple vendors coming from Scotland. We have a vendor coming from Northern Ireland. We have multiple vendors coming from Somerset and Cornwall, and yeah, all over the place, coming to Norwich for the show. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think I can say this now because it is all official. But sorry, I thought something was falling in my giant pile of chaos, but I'm not sure. You might all hear a crash in a moment. Yeah, it's all official now. The show has just been getting so much attention and just knocking me off my feet that I've gone ahead and booked the Norfolk Showground Arena for next year. So all of the kinks that we have from being in a smaller venue this year, from not being able to choose our food options and lots of other things like that, will completely change next year, because we will be in a massive prepared for the sort of thing we're doing venue, and we can make all our own choices, so it's going to be a big deal. But I'm not gonna lie, at the moment I'm looking forward to getting back into dyeing for a bit and playing with fibre, because that's the other thing. I've been making up bats and rollags, but there's just no time at the moment. No time at all. It's been madness, absolute madness. So yeah, I'm so sorry that I've been a bit absent. I'm so sorry that I haven't been popping up with my videos on YouTube. I make so many promises to start podcasting and it's just been impossible. But and I think I need to stop making promises about coming out with a weekly podcast or anything like that until both my children are in school, or at least in nursery, because at the moment I have 6 hours on a Monday and 6 hours on a Tuesday, and it doesn't go very far. But yeah, I think I need to make a few less promises on podcasts, but I do miss them. I miss chatting to you guys. I miss coming on here and just feeling like I'm part of the community. So yeah, I miss you guys. But yeah, it's been a bit, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a hard time. We've had weeks of trying to think when I last spoke to you what we were going through, because Ellie had COVID, but none of the rest of us got it. She started dance lessons, so we have swimming lessons on one night, dance lessons on another. We're on the waiting list for her to start rainbows. Time is flying past and I feel like I can't grab hold of it. It's just literally being pulled through my fingers and I can't get purchase. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm definitely rambling. If you've been here for very long, you know that I am a rambler. It's nearly 10 o'clock at night. I came out here after doing a bunch more work just because I was like, I need to talk to people who get it. And I'm not gonna lie, my husband and my dog don't get it so much. Yeah, I want to be knitting more. And I think I've come to the point where I realise that I can't do everything, even though I really, really want to. And if East Anglia Yarn Festival keeps growing, then that will become the forefront thing on my plate rather than all of my other bits and bobs. And maybe I should let that happen and spend whatever spare time I have knitting. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, if you've listened to my 20-minute ramble where I showed 2 projects right at the beginning and then disappeared into just a black hole of mumbling, thanks guys. Sorry. Yeah, I will hopefully see you all, well, I will see you in a couple of days to chat about our book club book. If you're not in the book club and you would like to be, the yarn is no longer for sale for this one, but if you just want to read along, you don't have to buy the yarn to be in the book club. So if you go back to the announcements video, it was the video before the last one on my channel, have a little look at that, you'll be able to see what we've spoken about, and you'll be able to read the book. And just because I finished the book and on the last day of this month I will talk about the book, doesn't mean you can't join in at a later time. Just don't watch that video of me talking about the book, read the book yourself, and then when you are done, come over to that video, have a chat with us in the comments. I'll still be there hanging about. Anyway, thank you so much if you've got all the way through, and as always, thank you so much for making me just so much less of a lonely knitter.